What up, dude? Get that up. All right, let's try this one more again. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Taking the Stage. I am the math guy, Steve O'Clevo. This is
Paige babies.
Paigey Wagey.
Yes.
Peasy buckets on the ones and twos. You heard me? You heard me?
Okay.
First, how was your day, Pooh? Okay, how was your day? How was your week? The past 2 weeks? Past 3 weeks have been rather interesting for all of us. What's going on now? Oh, okay. It's just trying to connect my phone. Never mind. Go ahead. How was your day? How was your week?
Well,
Past couple weeks.
they have been wild and crazy. There was a storm that we didn't know about. We evacuated with the kids. We evacuated enough for maybe 4 days? Like enough stuff for 4 days.
Oh, yeah. We planned about 4 days worth.
Yeah. And it's been 2 weeks?
Almost 2 weeks.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
More than 2 weeks, huh?
No. Has it been? It was last Friday. No, Friday before last, right?
Something like that. I don't know. It's been a long time.
Well, thankfully, we don't really have a lot of damage. But, yeah, I'm glad we evacuated and got power back yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The service is still a little shaky, but we are here.
We're good. We're here.
Started classes back today. I don't know. I mean, I guess, you know me. I'm going to do whatever you need to do to
make it happen.
Yes, make it happen. So, I don't know. I'm here and I'm thankful. And I'm at peace right now because the kids are asleep. And that's all I have. That's all I have. Remember that song?
That's all I have.
Oh,
that was
cringe.
Nikki said that at the end of the verse. No, it wasn't Nikki. It was some Wayne song. Anyway, today, past few weeks have been a little bit wild, but that's okay.
This place due to Hurricane Ida.
Mm-hmm. But we still ticking.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's how they say it. That's how old people say it.
I'm not saying by that you mean like Golden Girls, and yes.
Golden Girls, Paige, other people of that age range.
I know you lying down.
Lying down and I ain't getting up. Okay, tough crowd. So speaking of wild, today's episode, we're going to talk about.
Goodness. What is it?
It's going to be part 1 of 3 of the wildest birthing story in the history of birds.
Wait, you didn't tell me we were starting this today?
Yeah, I didn't tell you on purpose. So,
I would have looked a lot better.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You got the light shining, so you're good. You see what I did. You see what I did. First question I have is, what's motherhood to you? What's motherhood mean to you? So first, preface. This episode is going to be the prelim to the actual day of his birth. Episode 2 will be the actual day of his birth, and then episode 3 will be kind of the aftermath. Okay, and it makes sense that it would be a 3-parter.
Wow.
Okay. Anywho. Okay, so what is motherhood to you, Poopy?
To me, motherhood is being a nurturer, being very confident, because you definitely need to be stern in the things that you do, because the children you raise, however they came about, absorb so much from you, so you don't really have a lot of room to flip-flop back and forth on things.
Can you at least sandal?
Really? But you have to be very sure of yourself, because you have little people or big people or whomever, looking to you for guidance. So
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that fatherhood is a similar thing. Not necessarily, well, nurture, but nurture in a different manner, different. You have a different take on it, right? Because your nurturing is in, providing, but also having stability and having a structure for them to look forward to. You say all the time that I'm a creature of habit. I need, I need my nap in the middle of the day, and I wake up earliest and the last one to sleep. Um, okay, bedtime is this time, so y'all need to go to bed. They need to go to bed at a certain time, or try to get into bed at a certain time. We have dinner right before. We try to have dinner as a family. Just everything is just consistent. I think just to help with their. I think that's to help them in the long run to have these structures in place that we know they can depend on, and so I think that's the nurturing part of it. Kind of just, I mean, even though I'm an emotional and softy, as they say, but I, as you just said, I'm even more stern at times.
You are,
and okay, it's time to go to bed. Go to bed. And we're gonna keep doing this until you go to bed. That type of thing. So. But yeah, motherhood and fatherhood are interesting things, and we were already before even third. We were already parents, but even before Mel, I think we were parents for the longest of times.
Oh, like we are the parents of our friends.
I'm about to say not just to our nieces and nephews, but we've been Papa Steve and my mom Paige for a very long time, as far as I can remember. So. And saying that, why are you looking over here at the docket? Hold up, stop over here peeking, fam. Scoot it over a little bit. Hold on. So, and knowing that, how was your relationship? Okay, growing up, how was your relationship with your mom?
I mean, we didn't really have like fairy tale mother-daughter relationship. I don't really think we have it now.
What's fairy tale mother-daughter relationship? What's that?
Like, like on the movies.
No, because I usually don't watch those movies.
I like that mother and daughter, like, kind of close, and you get to, you can talk to them about anything and stuff like that. She's not really, a super emotional person. I mean, I wouldn't really say I am either, but I'm very, open with my ideas and how I feel, and learning not to suppress it. I feel like our generation, we've done a lot of self-reflection and work on the things, healing things of the past and stuff like that. Yeah. But she's of an older generation, so I kind of get it. But growing up, I didn't really understand why she was the way she was.
Okay, and what about your grandmother?
Same.
I'll admit.
She was just very loud about it. But yeah, I don't know. My grandmother, she was just fearless with everything.
Yes.
And she was one of those people where it's maybe that's where I get it from. If you got a problem with it, then come and see me.
Yes. Try you. Please don't try me. That's ooh. So I had a similar relationship with my dad. Both of those characters in this long story play a huge part.
Oh, do they?
But I had a similar relationship with my dad. It wasn't the fairy tale dad son. It started off actually that way, growing up, but eventually, after my grandfather passed, it kind of changed, flipped on his head, where he was more of a he was a different person. He's a different person. I'll say that. And for the longest time, I faulted him for that. And so, we would bash heads all the time, and it became a strained relationship up until maybe 7 years ago, maybe. But it's just interesting that both of them, my mother, me and her always had a close relationship, but my dad and your mom play a huge part in this story. So, okay, what's your relationship with my parents? Okay, let's start with my dad.
Pop's cool.
Pop's cool. What about BLB?
No.
What's all that?
I will say, what was
First, what's BLB?
Oh, Beast loves Belle.
So Beast loves Belle. Belle and
we went to
Beast.
see Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast reference.
Live action.
Live. It was
not
cool.
The cartoon.
It was cool.
Yeah, it was good. But starting off, it was really good, and then like as we got more like serious, of course we had our the not so good time, the Daquisha and Paquisha time.
Oh, here we go.
But I mean, it turned around. It kind of our relationship.
I was talking about my dad first.
Oh, well.
Pop's cool. Got it. Okay,
No.
now it's my mom.
Well, because it was kind of the same, except for the fact that your dad is your dad, and so I don't think our relationship was like as strained as it was with your mom because of how you guys were.
Explain.
So, like you and your mom were always like super close.
Right.
So our relationship
gotcha.
kind of went how a normal girlfriend mom relationship would go.
Gotcha.
When the son is really close to the mom. I mean, it's written all over.
Right. That is storybook.
Right.
Fairy tale time. Yes, that's straight from a movie.
But I do think, like, with your dad, we kind of would butt heads. I mean, I think sometimes we do now, but we have a closer relationship and a better understanding of one another. And we've both done a lot of, like, growing and maturing and made changes to where now if like we have conflicting opinions, it's fine.
Right.
Whereas all those years ago, it's kind of like if there was a conflicting opinion, then it was like she's been difficult or she's too brash or whatever or aggressive or like, you know, the normal terms people use when they want you to just like sit down, shut up, and that's it.
Right.
Smile and be quiet.
Yeah, no, and I think I would agree with that's how your relationships are with my parents.
Yeah, now we're like really close.
Yeah, all of us are. All of us are really
I know
close.
everybody thinks that we're like the 12 collective is like scary close. But I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and also people don't see all the hard work and hard nights and the sit at the big tables that, that we had. The sit at the big table means literally they have a big table that we never use except when there's a big issue or we have a huge dinner. Right. Or we invite even other people to come. Okay, well, and I have a close relationship with your mom. I mean, we've butt heads every once in a while, but it's like few and far between. We've been pretty close, even though she was like, "Who is this boy you bringing over here with a beard?" That was 13 years ago.
I was a teenager.
Right. But I've always had a close relationship with your mom. I remember that dinner that she came to. Where were we at? Cheesecake?
I believe so.
Yeah. And
the
Juan
first
was
one?
There. Yeah.
Little one? Yeah.
No.
Not my brother one.
No, Jose was there.
Yes, Jose was there.
Jose was there, and Shane was there, and Moms and Pops, your mom. So yeah. What else I got on the docket? Hold on, give me a second, bear with me. Okay. What about so I asked about your grandmother. What about grandpa?
Mine?
Yeah, your relationship with your grandfather.
Oh, it was. Well, when I was a teenager, I just did not like those years because you're trying to like really find yourself and find your voice. But I have very old school, like I had an old school mom, old school grandparents, and so it was really like hard to ever like say anything.
Well, and not
he
to
was
mention that
very
y'all
strict.
are some of the youngest of your
We were like the youngest set of grandkids.
right.
So it was really like, you don't get a say at all. But I had to watch all the kids. Like, it didn't make sense.
Well, which is crazy because when I met your grandparents, I mean, how you spoke of them was so different from how I, I guess visualized or envisioned them. But that's because, again, like you said, you grew up with them. Whereas I just know them as, you talking about grandma who always asking me if I'm coming over? I'm a favorite grandchild?
That's how it always is. Have you ever seen those memes where it's like, my mom when company is over, but my mom in reality?
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's how it is.
But I was over there all the time.
Southern charm for you.
But she always had it? We would stay weeks there.
No. Grandma was real cool. You mean my mom?
Yo, grandma.
I mean, as cool can be. But you're asking me about
I just know
the entire time.
George.
Right.
That's what she called grandma from down the hall.
But you do have those difficult times like during those hard years of your life. So I thought that's what you meant. Like
No, I did.
I don't know if you just meant adult life or like the whole time.
I was just continuing the conversation, but it's a conversation. We're a podcast. I got to continue the conversation. This guy doesn't know a podcast.
Really?
So my relationship with my grandparents, my maternal grandmother passed when I was really young. I was maybe 8 or 9, and we didn't really spend much time over there often, so I didn't know her very well. I know she was a very sweet lady, and every time we went over there, I mean, she would take care of us. And then my paternal grandfather passed when I was 11 years old. I knew him pretty well, but mainly through stories, I guess, of hearing about him. It wasn't really like, I wasn't old enough to remember all the stuff. I remember him preaching as the pastor. I remember some little small things about him, about how he would do his teeth.
All old people do that. They do.
I remember he always had 2 jobs, even until the day he passed. I remember my dad would cut our hair. And he would always come over to, my dad would cut his hair, but it was really just, he could have paid somebody to do his hair, but it was really just bonding time for them. But I remember, small stuff about him. I don't remember much. Now, those other 2, my maternal grandfather, Papa.
Oh, child.
It's a special, unique man he was. He wore everything that he felt on his sleeve. But also, he was the sweetest man. He just really was.
Not afraid to tell you about yourself.
And he sure wasn't. And that was his version of being sweet, honestly. It wasn't like he would just randomly cuss everybody out. No. If you were a visitor, he would, but for his grandchildren, for his children, he didn't hold his tongue at all. He straight up just.
That's why he's always really nice.
Shane, get your crazy butt in here.
But that's what I mean. Like when you said, you see the same thing about my grandparents. Like they were always just the sweetest. Yeah, your grandfather was always the sweetest.
Well, see, okay, so here's the thing. You saw my grandfather be mean to us. I never saw your grandmother be mean to you. You see what I'm saying? You see the difference. You see the difference.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, but Papa. Very interesting guy. And then my paternal grandmother, Momo, she's still here. She actually lives down the hall here at our property, our church property. And so, she's also a rather interesting woman. Never worked a day in her life because my grandfather always took care of everything. What else? Always been a church going lady.
She had 12 kids.
Well, yeah. Sorry, never got paid by anybody else except for her children because they paid her in full, not money. Anyway, but yeah, she had 12 children. Always been a church going lady, and so she, and I don't know how many grandchildren, great grandchildren. She. She up there. She up there. But me and her relationship, yeah, pretty close as well. Just because kind of we always so every summer instead of going to daycare or going to summer camps, we go to summer camps for every 2-3 weeks, and then the rest of the time we spent by mama, and she would just raise us or babysit us, I guess. So, I don't know. What else we got? So in having all of that background, now we're going to build to okay, well, so these three parts about Steve's or Junior or Third's birthing story. But before we get to that, what about Melody's birthing story? Give an abbreviated version. I think we've given a sort of version beforehand on this potty here.
Yeah, we have.
But let's give an abbreviated version of how that went.
The pregnancy or the birth?
The birthing story.
Okay, well, I was all prepared to go to work one day, and I didn't.
Okay.
I got to my doctor's appointment, and towards the end, they check you. They check, they hook you up to a little monitor where they check the heart rate and, your contractions and stuff. And I was just playing a game on my phone, and the nurse came in, and she was like, well, can you feel that? And I was like, feel what? I just thought I just had to sit here and take this test for an hour and then head to work. And she was like, you're contracting? And I was like, She was like, I think we're going to just go ahead and induce you. And, I just was not prepared at all. I was, really devastated, I think, because it was so shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And, I had the option to go home, but they said they would feel more comfortable if they were just able to take her then. So I, of course, agreed because at that point, I was just like, I would prefer for her to be here, where I can see her, try to keep her safe, rather than, have something go wrong, overnight or something like that, and I just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I ended up being induced, and I had her the next day.
Yeah. It was that Friday. It was Friday, and then she was birthed Saturday, right after service. Actually,
No, it was right afternoon prayer.
Oh, right afternoon prayer. Yeah, we didn't see the sermon. Yeah.
12:58. I want to say
57. It ends with a 7. I know.
Oh.
No. It's 58 on the pillow. So 12:58. Yeah. Yeah. It was not ideal. It was not the exact way we planned it. Not how we thought it would be. It was our first child.
It took me a long time.
It was scary.
To make peace with that.
It was weird for us, and so in knowing that part, what did we expect this time?
This time, what I expected was to be a little more natural and holistic the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was. I did all the precautions. I know we signed up to be patients at the birth center, but I remember waiting until my 20-week scan so I can get the full anatomy scan and make sure everything checked out and everything was good before I switched over. And so when we got those results back, I think I switched over at week 26 or something like that. And so I was going.
What did we? All of that's on the docket. What did we expect this time?
So I just expected something a little more natural. Initially, what I wanted was a home birth.
Yes.
But it's just a whole bunch of stuff. You have to go through insurance to get it.
Mm-hmm.
And make sure all this stuff is covered and all of these things are set up. There's just a whole bunch of precautions to facilitate it. So I was like, okay, well, the happy medium between the hospital and a home birth would be the birthing center.
Mm-hmm.
And so everything seemed fine.
And at the so first the birthing center that we were going to was in Baton Rouge, which is literally down the street from my parents' house. So it just happened to be
on the same campus as the hospital.
Exactly.
So we were like, okay, this is a win-win.
Right. It seemed ideal. So that's what I was gonna say. We were doing it. Well, that's on the docket. We're doing it differently. As you said, we wanted the birthing center, and so how do we prepare for this different style of trying to have a baby versus you yawning on the potty
I'm
again?
sorry.
Goodness. Etiquette.
Put an emoji on my head.
Ignore this part for a second.
Sorry.
So how do we plan on doing it differently? What precautions do we take? What different measures do we? Because it's not the same. Like you don't prepare for a birth at the hospital like you do at the birthing center. So what things did we do? So I know we take classes, different classes than we did for the.
Yeah, they require you to take classes, especially if you've never had a natural birth before, which we barely made it through those classes.
Well, and then so how is a natural birth different?
From with male, I was induced, so they put you on what's called Pitocin, that it induces labor, so it speeds up the contraction process by what feels like a million. So in a natural birth, you're slowly contracting, they're slowly getting more and more intense, whereas with Pitocin, you feel them immediately, basically. And then I got an epidural I really forget. That whole thing was just a blur. I ended up getting an epidural sometime before she was born. And I remember being so scared because I had never even had to stay in a hospital before. I had never been admitted to a hospital before. I never had any major procedures. Other than my yearly checkup, I just never had to go to a hospital. And it was just so weird being in there. They put you on the fluid and you have the oxygen, and then they give you the epidural in your back. You got the contractions. The whole thing, it's just not pretty.
And then they even have you you have a button that you can press to.
Yeah, you have a button to press if you start to feel the epidural numbs you from the waist down. So if you start to feel anything, they tell you to press it so that the machine can administer more medication. But I was so scared. I was I do not want to end up on drugs because I have seen the movies. So I never pressed that button. That's why I think I could still
Lifetime movie for sure.
That's why I think I could still feel it, when Mel was coming out and stuff. But that's why I was you remember I thought the people that they were lying.
Stephen, are they lying to me? You can see it? I want to see it. Get a mirror.
I made them roll the mirror in so I could see, because I was there's no way y'all keep saying that her head is right here and she's not here yet. And then the other nurse was shoving the oxygen in my face. I was about to knock her out because I was girl. She's this is to help you breathe. I'm no, you are affecting my breathing. Leave me alone.
And so this time.
But this time, yes. The way I prepared was on the classes. But what I mainly was focused on was trying to mentally prepare myself, because I think that's the biggest part of having a natural birth. Is just your mental capacity to just make it to the next second even. Because in my mind, I'm okay, if I made it this far, I can do this. If I made this far, I can do this. Even though it happened very fast, I was thinking that's what I would be experiencing, So I remember watching one video and they were the major contractions only last a max of 2 minutes. And I was okay, you can do anything for 2 minutes.
Hell yeah. I remember telling me that.
Don't be defeated by that. If you can, in your mind, think of 2 minutes, as long as you can get past that, you will be fine. And then another thing that I always kept was, you won't be going through this tomorrow. So it's just that, I don't know, something about me is just, if I can, I always like kind of break things down smaller and smaller and smaller, like as small as I can get them.
Mhm.
And then that's how I'm able to like, fulfill like certain duties and tasks and like different roles. And that's what I did to prepare myself.
Well, and the good thing about uh, us choosing to have this natural birth, this or having it at the birthing center, was that we had someone to look to that had just done it.
Oh yeah, one of our friends had just given birth at the birthing center like a few months before third was born. So that was a push. She was just like, I guess, giving us a lot of insight to the experience. And it was just good to have someone who has done it that way kind of guide you along the way.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, and then next thing I have is, did you? Okay, I know when all the time that we were together, you every time you thought about your child, your future child, you would say, "All I want is my little
Milk dog.
chocolate milk dud."
Mm-hmm.
Did you always want a son?
I never really thought about that.
Really?
Mm-mm. When I tell you, I know I said this on the podcast before. When I thought of having kids,
How old were they?
like school age, and like not even like first, second, third grade, like school. Like go up the street, go up the street and catch the bus. Like in New Orleans, we didn't even have a bus system like that. But they were like old enough to like have extracurricular activities and things.
You just skipped right past the not sleeping at night.
Like,
Right past the potty training. Right past the this is what you're supposed to eat every day. Right past the this is how you walk.
When I tell you I was
You
in
skip
for,
straight
like,
to but he could play football.
right. I had the shock of my life when we took Mel home and I was like, what you mean? She gotta learn how to swallow.
Wow. Oh wow. I tell you. Wow.
I was like, you have to teach them how to. Well, I knew babies can like lift their heads and stuff, and I knew about like tummy time and all that stuff. But I was like, she has to learn how to like pass gas. Gotta learn how to like roll over. You have to like. When we had to teach her how to hold a fork, I was like, man, I teach babies everything.
These are things, though. They don't know nothing, Dad. Wow. So you didn't envision necessarily, okay, well, this is my son. This is
No, I was never that person who was like, I'm gonna have 2 boys, I'm gonna have a girl, and then a girl is gonna be born first, and then I'm gonna have the boy, and then I may have like I was just like never like that.
well, and back up because I didn't have this on the docket. So we before okay, so leading up to this day, we also had a gender reveal, right? And I was in. Oh, I think we had a potty about it. Maybe.
Yes.
But I was insistent that we would have a girl. I just thought that's what
You really
God
did.
meant for us to have, was that I was going to be a girl dad, that type of thing. And I think part of it, now thinking back on it, part of it was that honestly I was just afraid of having a son because I knew there would be more responsibility on me as far as a dad and having to raise a son to be better than me and be and not I'm held accountable to that. I think that was a part of it, Whereas if I had another daughter, it'd be more of like, okay, I'm just a great dad. That's all. Like it's not I have to be a great dad of a son. I guess I don't have to. You see what I'm saying? I guess
Yeah.
It's just kind of okay. I can just be a great dad, but now it's more like okay, you have a son.
I just think it's like also just how the father-son relationship was between you and Pops.
Yeah, that's part of it.
So I think that weighed heavily on you, like the entire time when we would always have discussions about what we thought the baby would be and stuff like that. I mean, I could just see it all over your face all the time. So
Mhm.
I also think that's what kind of made you a little weird about or hesitant to have a boy.
Yeah. And but me growing up, I always wanted to have a boy. I always wanted a son.
You just always wanted kids.
That's also true. That's also true, Paige. No denying that. I always wanted to teach mathematics at that. You know, dreams come true.
Oh
And
my
that's okay.
goodness.
Okay, so the days leading up, how did those days leading up to
The general?
no, okay, skip past that. I'm talking about now to his birthing
His
day.
birth.
The days leading up to that. How did you feel? I mean, did it feel weird I don't think we knew that he was coming. We didn't.
No, I had no idea he was coming. I felt fine. I was just focused on the execution of the baby shower. And so the entire time, that's what I was doing. Like mainly that, Mel, and school. Like those were my priorities.
Right.
And then I think by that time I was also at my weekly appointments too.
Mm-hmm.
So just preparing, because I remember I would just walk through the house sometimes and be like, nothing is ready. And just feeling like I wish I was in a better position to do a little more, because I know that we were both very busy. And you know me, I like for things to get done. And I just feel like nothing was getting done.
Yeah. At the time, I was working 4 different jobs, and Paige, couldn't actually, and Paige, of course, getting stuff with school still together, but also, Mel is a lot.
In
And
this
then,
pregnancy, I was just like huge.
yeah, and that
And
was
I
another
was
part.
so
You were a lot more
tired.
tired than you were the first
Yeah.
time, and so it was a very
And I
busy
couldn't really
time.
move that much. I had to
Hmm.
wear a belly brace and back brace and like all this stuff. It was just a lot.
And so but in the days leading up to it, even we were so like, because that was supposed to be your last week at church, right? Because we were preparing. Okay, well, my mom. So instead of you coming to church, my mom would stay with you, or your mom would stay with you in Baton Rouge, or stay with you in Baton Rouge in case something happened. Stay at my parents' house on church days while you just not Zoom, but watch it on YouTube.
Right. I was gonna stream. Yeah.
So we were preparing things as much as we could.
Yeah, we had a plan.
Yeah, and that day that we were supposed to go back, we were planning on packing the bags and getting everything in the car and the car seat and all that stuff ready. And the Almighty had other plans, which we'll see on the next episode. Okay. What else? Okay, so 2 days before,
Yes.
So 2 days before, you and Mom got into it over something dealing with the baby shower. Do you remember that?
Yes. Because I was very tired and I was like running out the mail the whole day. And we had gone to like a million different stores getting stuff for the shower. And something was like going on with the banner. I think like your mom laid the banner out on the floor so that we could glue the letters on.
Mm-hmm.
But Mel was like walking on the banner and like crumbling the letters and stuff like that. And then your mom just like got so irritated and she was like, I'm just not even going to worry about it. Why are you letting her do this, Paige? And I'm like, I am moving as fast as I can. Like, I don't know what she wanted or expected from me. And that morning, like, she's 2 years old. She sees these massive letters. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Speaking of letters,
And I was like, first of all, why would we even put it on the floor? Like, we should have put it on the table anyway.
well, my mom likes to make banners for things. This was the biggest banner she's ever made.
Mm-hmm.
Huge. And so that's the banner you're talking about, where it said Stephen, what did it say?
Welcoming baby Steven.
No. Something with baby Q. Because the theme was...
baby Q for baby Steven?
Yeah, the theme was, it was a baby Q.
Yeah, it was a baby Q thing. It was supposed to be
theme.
outside, but it was supposed to rain, so we moved the inside last minute. But yeah, she got upset at that. And so I was like, I'm about to go pick my dinner up. And I like took the kids and I drove to town and went to go pick up the dinner. I ate like the fries or something on the way in the car, and I was just like,
so
I need a break.
Once you left, Pops came out and he was like, "Where's Belle?" I was like, "She went to get the food." He was like, You didn't want to go get it for her?" I was like, "She needs to go get it. She needs some time alone." Think something happened between her moms. She needs this time. He was like, "Okay."
Because like when you're that pregnant and just that tired, and you know how I am about events and stuff, it's like at that moment either I'm gonna go off or I'm just gonna like break down and cry. And I was just like too tired to do either one of those things and very hungry. So I was like, I'm just gonna get this food.
Goodness. And so we did the plans for missing church. And so night before, we were getting everything last minute together for the shower.
And I stayed up till like 3:00 with doing that banner with your mom.
Mm-hmm. And I remember me and mom was like, okay, well, we're gonna be up all night. We might as well open up a bottle of wine. The corkscrew nowhere to be found. I'm like, okay, well, guess we gotta try to make it happen somehow. And we spent like 20 minutes trying to get the bottle open with a nail and a screwdriver. I guess the Almighty meant we didn't need wine that night because, well, the next day. Mm-hmm. ... On the next episode of
That's exactly what you think happened. Time for the baby shower.
Yes. I guess you'll see on the next episode. We'll give more detail. Hold your horses, Paige. Hold your horses. Okay. Why did I say hold your horses? Why is that a thing? Why did I say hold your horses?
I never say that, so I don't know.
You've heard people say it though.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that a thing?
Hold your horses.
You just hold them back, like hold on.
Like, is it like the old wars where they would like stop them from firing first and like hold the horses back?
How does that stop someone from firing their gun?
Well, they would say like hold on, like hold your horses, because when they would have the war, they would charge.
I should have left it at my daughter died.
You know I'm right. So why is it?
I have no idea, but I'm not.
I think I'm close. I'm onto something there.
Alrighty then. Any last words, babe?
We'll have the answer next time.
How come you never asked me how my day was?
I do sometimes. I haven't had to host in a very long time.
You hosting after this 3-parter.
Cool.
All right, so thank you for taking the stage, and we'll see you on the next episode.
And neither one of the kids cried. Yay.
I know, right?
We made it.
We need to stay at 45. That hour will be pushing it. All right. Have a good one.